go. 50 G's, baby. I think we're gonna make it. We're almost there. 70,000 miles. Hey guys, welcome back. I want to go ahead and go into some of the comments, questions that were asked on the part 1 and part 2 of the 50K review series. It had a lot of good comments, a lot of good feedback. It makes me feel better knowing that I am not the only one that has experienced some of these issues that I mentioned in the first video. Far and away the biggest thing that you guys have also seen, and it's not just me, is the AC. You know, for a while there I was telling myself it's because it's a black truck, it's because I work in a really hot area. Come to find out, people in the northern states are also complaining about it. So hopefully Ram comes up with a fix. I don't know if they will. The next thing that everyone mentioned in the comments was the steering problem. So I hadn't heard of anybody else having the issue that I did until we posted that video, and it seems like not only do the Ram 1500s have the steering loose steering nut problem, if that is what it is, who knows, the dealer might have just been blowing smoke. But even the Jeep Gladiators, the Jeep Wranglers, people were saying had the same steering issue. Now I will say this, after the 3 or 4 times I went to the dealer for the repair for the steering nut, it has not came back, and that was fixed at about 42,000 miles, 45,000 miles maybe, and it has not made a single clicking, grinding, popping sound since, so that's good. The other thing everyone's mentioning, MPGs. Man, it fluctuates wildly, and I think that's something that's not going to be standard across, you know, from one driver to the next. You know, people up in the Northeast versus, you know, people down in West Texas, you know, driving habits. There's so many variables that change. I get, you know, right now I think my truck says I'm averaging 16 miles a gallon, and, you know, it is what it is. I think that's acceptable. And some people are saying they get 19 to 20. I've never seen 19 or 20. So let's talk about the gear ratio. Ram offers this truck with a 3.21 or a 3.92 gear ratio. I'll be honest, I wasn't even sure which one I had when the comments started coming in asking me about the gear ratio and how it affected my gas mileage. And so I honestly had to pull out the trusty old window sticker, and it does have the 3.21, which, you know, I guess that makes sense from what I've seen and as far as the performance goes. However, I have pulled some seriously heavy loads with this thing. I recently did a 3,000 mile trip with a 10,000 pound trailer, and this thing pulled it beautifully. Man, the RPM stayed low, trans temperature never got above 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This thing was just fantastic. It was comfortable, smooth, it sounded good, it performed well, but it makes me wonder what the 3.92 would be like pulling the same load. So take that into consideration. Just because it's got, if you're looking at a truck that's got a 3.21, it still will pull great. I was seriously impressed by how well this pulled it, and that was in the north, up and down rolling hills through Montana and South Dakota. So very pleased with that. The leaky sunroof. Lots of comments about leaky sunroofs. I have not noticed that yet on mine. And I kind of go back and forth, hot and cold climates, and I use it a lot, open and close it all the time. So I don't know if it's a lack of use or overuse that people are seeing these issues, but no leaky sunroof here. It's working great. I love it still. And the bed divider. It's about 50-50 from what people are saying. Some of you are saying the bed divider comes with it. Some of you say it doesn't. Some of you also got the Ram boxes and no bed divider, so I'm not alone there, but I want to show you guys something. And I want someone to put this to bed for me. I don't know, someone at Ram call me, message me. So it's got the Ram box cargo management system. Now, in my mind, Ram boxes are a thing, and cargo management is a thing. You know, like the bed divider, cargo management. So I don't know. I mean, I paid $1,000 for it. Is that what the Ram boxes cost, or should that include the bed divider? Someone please let me know. So let's talk about something else. Maybe the white elephant in the room, the air ride. I've sang its praises far and wide, and I truly do love it. But there are a lot of people commenting, saying in previous gens, on the 4th gen that had some air rides, that there were some flaws. Almost nobody has said, I've got 250,000 miles on this truck and the stock air ride is still performing flawlessly. Haven't seen that comment yet, but I've seen a lot of, it will fail, it's a matter of time, just wait, it's going to be expensive. So not sure how I feel about that. Maybe the 5th gen worked out the previous gen kinks. So far it's still working great, but I will tell you I have started to notice some flaws. I say flaws. I have discovered some limitations, and I'm going to show you that now. So one of the things you need to keep in mind, on the previous video I mentioned the way I like to hook up the trailers is lower it all the way down, back up to the trailer, lift it all the way up, and I never have to crank on a jack, which is fantastic. But what I found is, depending on the weight of the trailer, the air ride will disable itself. Not disable itself, it just won't go up or down when it detects too much weight on the ball. And that is understandable, but just be aware of that, because if you're hooking up to a heavy trailer and a low setting, just know that you may not be able to raise it up until you drop the trailer off. And that could be potentially problematic depending on where you're going and what you're moving. So if you're hooking up to a heavy trailer, hook up in the ride position that you want to be driving in. Do not lower it and then try to pick it up, because you will be shut down. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So you can see I'm currently hooked up to this behemoth of a trailer, 20-foot long, monorail, 7K axles. It weighs about 4,400 pounds empty, and there's some equipment on it now. You can see the ram is currently in the lowest ride position, which is how I hooked up to it, and I'm going to show you what it does whenever the truck thinks your load is too heavy. Alright, so you're backed up to your big heavy trailer, and you used your big beautiful display to guide you there. And you can see here that we're in the entry and exit mode. And look at this little icon here. Sorry, my hands aren't dirty, that's spray paint. This icon here, it basically says no up, no down. So I'm going to toggle the air ride switch for up. Oh, I gotta get back in park. And you'll see selected ride height not permitted due to payload. So what that also suggests is you're going to be limited to what you put in the bed. Now I have not put so much in the bed yet that it would not work, but multiple trailers. Those are what the air ride components look like with 70,000 miles. I've got it in the full off-road 2 position because I thought we might hear some of the unusual grunting sounds it makes now that it didn't used to make. So here you can see the tag barely hanging on to the underside of the rear differential. 3.21. I also had somebody ask me if I had something special done to the cover and the bolts because it looked like stainless hardware. What that is bright white caliche from West Texas stuck to the gasket material around the bolt heads. So nothing special here, just a little extra dirt. Now while we're under here, I want to go ahead and do the old entry exit from the key fob. Let's see how it looks and sounds. I know what you're thinking. He must have sped that up. Takes about 30 seconds. And I haven't noticed any unusual noises today. It's not constant, but you can definitely tell there's some sort of blow off going on you know, after you make some adjustments, it'll kind of purge. I don't know what that's because of, but I noticed it didn't, or I remember it didn't really happen when it was new, so yay. So I'm flipping the truck around to put the front on the service bay, and I will say the front facing and overhead camera sure does give me peace of mind. I'm getting lined up over this gaping hole. Definitely a fan of that. So the reason I wanted to show the underside of the truck is just so you can get an idea of what wear and tear looks like. You know, what's on the outside. The shiny side is obvious, but I wanted to show you some of the suspension components, bushings, transmission, bolts, you know, just the pulleys themselves. Also, if you're a longtime Hemi guy, you know the tick that develops after a while. And so far this motor sounds great, sounds brand new, no issues at all. On the air ride suspension side, you know, the noises I hear, I haven't got it to do it again today. You know, I just have to accept the fact that it might not last forever, and when it goes out, I've got a good excuse for a lift kit and new tires and wheels. So it is what it is. We are now at our 70,000 mile review of the 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie Limited. All right, let's talk about what's new and not new. Not new. Still love the Ram boxes.